let's talk about Wembley Stadium. What are your thoughts on all this?
Well, yeah, I thought the announcement was weird. That day of, it was kind of going around that it would be something in London,
Okay.
and I think a lot of
I
people
hadn't heard
thought,
any of that.
and I think a lot of people thought if it was London, it might be like the O2 Arena on the high end,
Yeah.
or
An O2 Arena, they could for sure sell out. I believe that's
and
25,000, 20,000.
or Tony Khan had always talked about Craven Cottage, which is where
Yeah.
Fulham plays, and that's like
Right.
25,000 seats, and it's like incredible visual, and everyone thought, oh, it would be that, and it'd be another Arthur Ashe type deal.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. Everyone's gonna be like, that would be great, and they could totally
Yeah.
do that. But man, he must have had the inside track, which I guess he really does. But the announcement, the announcement's crazy. So Excalibur announces Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah.
Nigel McGuinness announces Tony Khan. Tony Khan announces Adam Cole, and Adam Cole announces Wembley.
Adam Cole is the strangest choice.
Yeah.
I get they're like, oh, Adam's back. We got to push
Yeah.
Adam. He's the big baby face.
Well, and they
He's
had
the
him announce.
strangest choice.
They had him announce Forbidden Door last year, which,
I gotcha.
but I guess he's just the best. They're a guy you can trust to deliver the information accurately.
I guess
Tony
so.
Khan looked a little overhyped.
Tony Khan
on
is
TV.
always a little like out of breath,
Yeah.
and Tony Khan is me at 12 years old. That's what he is all the time.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it looked like if you put 12-year-old me on the screen.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that words come out of his mouth, that's a little improvement over what I would have done at 12. But I'm excited about it. I really am. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And I think Tony has a lot more. I think he has a larger ability to put people in that stadium than people think.
I think so
with
too.
Fulham and all the athletes on that team that I'm sure will be there.
I think
They'll
they
be
know what
getting
they're
their
doing.
fan bases excited for this.
Yeah, and they do have a relationship with Wembley because the Jaguars play there every year and have for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And Shad Khan was going to try. He had an offer on the table and like a deal going to buy Wembley Stadium in 2018. So they were going to own the stadium at one point, and it didn't work out because there was a lot of the board behind the old school of the board didn't want to sell, and he backed out to not damage the relationship. And apparently he's putting out feelers to buy it again. So who knows? Maybe by this time they might actually.
I was having some trouble hearing you there. You were saying the F4W board prevented the sale?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't put it past them. It wouldn't be the last thing they prevented. Didn't they prevent the Punk return just a couple of weeks ago?
That's right.
I think that's
exactly
happened.
Right.
I think that happened.
One of my favorite board memories is I was in this big argument for hours, days, who knows. And there was a man, for all I know, who may be listening to this, who on the board was known as Mountain Man.
No, that wasn't me.
And I was like, I need to see where Mountain Man's from. And I clicked on his profile, and it said, a mountain. And I've been laughing at that since 2006. Literally once a month since 2006. That has cracked me up. So Mountain Man, if you're out there, you popped me, brother.
My all-time favorite board nickname was in the early days. There was a guy named Browser Brody.
I remember Browser Brody.
I never interacted with him really, but
there were a lot of names, man.
Yeah.
Sexual Predator comes to mind.
Yes.
Very active board member.
Wild times.
And I wonder what, I'm sure this is known. I'm sure this is out there. I wonder what Tony Khan's board name was. We know he was on the board.
Mm-hmm. And he was on the old Death Valley Driver boards back in the day.
Yeah.
Which I was on too.
I think there's no way he was on those boards and not the F4W boards.
Oh, no, it had to be.
So there's no way. And so I'm assuming I interacted with him. It's probably called him an asshole at some point. And I would love to know if I did. I'd love to go back and do that search. Okay, so you've got a couple questions here. I figure it has to be. You know what? Let me take that back. I wanted to say it's got to be a pay-per-view, but this is not going to be a primetime show. Right. This is going to be like a noon,
3 PM, something like that.
Yes, something like that. And I would be really excited if they made this a Clash of Champions, like a 2 or 3 hours on TBS in the middle of the day on Saturday. That would be awesome. But I'm assuming for the cost of doing business there, they might want to make it a pay-per-view.
They could, unless they get a crazy deal. Because one of the things I noticed, and a lot of people noticed in the announcement, was he specifically mentioned it's the 100 years
100
of
years
Wembley Stadium and 100 years of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So I think it's part of a WBD plan.
Yeah.
So
which maybe Warner Brothers is helping to foot the bill.
Maybe they're helping to foot the bill. There's rumors of, who knows if this is rumors or just wild speculation of like an HBO Max special, maybe to coincide with them rolling out their new WBD service, whatever it's going to be called, Max or
that would be fantastic.
Something like that. I wonder if it'll be on pay-per-view in England or if it'll be like broadcast live on television.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like what you're saying there. It could very well be the announcement of the merger of HBO Max and Discovery Plus, and it would be fantastic if that's where it was available, was on that new service.
Which would also imply that AEW has a home on that service. I would hope. I would think that they wouldn't.
That's
do
kind
that
of what I thought
it
the
was,
announcement was going to be.
Yeah,
really,
that would be great.
Yeah,
we can
talking over you there.
Fantasy book the whole business deal, but
absolutely. Okay, let's see. So, what does success look like? You've got that in the notes.
Yeah. The funny thing is, if they did Craven Cottage and did 25,000, everyone would think wild success.
Yeah.
But if they do 25,000 in Wembley, failure.
Huge failure. That's the thing, and it's something like I learned from promoting back in the day. If you have 500 people show up for 1,000-seater, it looks like a major failure. But if you have 500 people show up for a 400-seat venue, you're turning people away. It's a huge success.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be difficult to fill that place up, but I think they can, and I really think they will. I think they're going to pull out all the stops on this one. I have a feeling tickets are going to be very reasonably priced, but what they need to do, it's a real shame they don't have William Regal for this. Real shame.
Oh, man.
What they need to do is book major – like this needs to be the most stacked card they've done in a while. And they need to have a lot of international talent on this card, whether they're borrowing from New Japan, they're borrowing from the Indies. I think they really need to focus hard on that. And I think, personally – even though she's not as over as they would have hoped here, I think Saraya is going to be a big part of filling up this stadium.
Yeah, I think you do Jamie Hayter and Saraya. I think you hold that match off.
I think that has to be one of the top 2 or 3 matches on this card for sure.
And I hate to say it, but I'd probably have Saraya win. I would probably keep. To make a big moment there. I think you've got to.
Look, Saraya is going to be champion at some point.
Yeah.
Put it on her there. I agree with you. I think that's the move. That's the thing to do. It
twists my stomach a bit to say that Saraya should beat Jamie Hayter for a title, but
again, like so many other things, I grew up on like Dusty and Rick going back and forth. Like have that. Like I'm fine with you putting it on her. Just take it back pretty quickly. Take it back fairly soon.
Yeah. So Will Ospreay says he wants to be there. So that's good.
That's really good, and I hope he is.
So my theory, we have
Ospreay
that's in
Omega.
August. Yeah, that's in August. We have Forbidden Door in June.
Right.
And the rumor then was Ospreay Omega at Forbidden Door.
So maybe you make it a trilogy.
You could do a trilogy, yeah. I'm thinking you could do a draw at Forbidden Door. Yeah. Ospreay Omega, and then have them settle it at Wembley with Ospreay going over. I think New Japan would like that because people are expecting him to be the man in New Japan next year, so he needs to be built to the Tokyo Dome. So beating Omega in a stadium, second from the top against the world title match would be a huge thing. I think that would be great. Did you hear what Dax Harwood's plan is?
No, I haven't heard this.
He has said that the only main event that you could do at this place to fill that arena would be FTR and CM Punk against Young Bucks and Omega.
You know, it would draw a lot of money.
Yeah.
It would.
It would.
I don't think
it's
that's
the biggest match that involves him, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It would make him a lot of money, for sure.
Yeah. And I would love to see it.
I think... Hold on one second. I think the only match I want to see with FTR on that pay-per-view is against the youngest men alive, the Outrunners.
Oh my gosh, the Outrunners! They could come out in jet skis.
Oh my God, yes! On the highway to the anger zone, always be aware of speed traps.
That's right.
That's one of their newest ones. As they're flexing their traps, it's amazing. I want nothing but snapmares, man. Nothing but snapmares.
You're right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not
big
going to happen.
snapmares for the people in the cheap seats.
I do feel like Europe would really like the Outrunners.
The Outrunners, yeah.
I think they really would enjoy that team.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see. Who else from New Japan could you bring over? We've got Zack Sabre Jr. would have to be on that list.
Yeah.
Again, I do think they should get. Oh my God, my mind is in On Patrol Live Zone, and I wanted to say Harry Smith, but there's a dog that's posted every week in a new outfit during On Patrol Live called Harry Junebugs, and I almost said we got to get Harry Junebugs on this.
Harry Junebugs is great.
Oh my God. By the way, that's the Twitter handle, Harry Junebugs. Check out this creepy dog in all the outfits.
Harry or Hairy?
I believe it's Hary. I
Okay.
believe it is. I'm going to double check that as we speak
like
here.
Harry the name or Harry the
He's very hairy. I think that's what it is.
I see.
All right, let me check this out.
Junebug with a lot of hair.
Basically it. The thing is, the dog does not look at all like a Junebug, but you take what you get on the internet. All right, let me go back to the rundown here.
There'd be an interesting thing for the undercard of that show. Are the Billington Bulldogs exclusive to MLW?
The thing is, I don't believe MLW has any exclusivity clauses, even with their champions, because Taya Valkyrie, I believe, was the active champion when she came over to AEW.
Okay.
So I think the Billington Bulldogs would be great to have on the undercard. Who would you match them against from AEW?
Let's see.
They're very small.
I've only seen them a little bit, so
they'd be great. I mean, they would be great against. I mean, there's so many small tag teams: Lucha Brothers, Young Bucks. Unfortunately, we can't do Dante and Darius now.
That's what I was just thinking.
That would have been the one. I think that would have been a great one.
It'd be that kind of team, though.
Yeah, and again, there's any number of people in AEW you can match them up with and build towards that. They'd be fine against the Acclaimed, but I think you want to do something bigger with the Acclaimed. I think. I think London wants to scissor more than anything else, and so I think you need a big match for them.
Yeah, you would. That would be a great rap. He could rail on Brexit.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a phenomenal rap. That would be awesome.